Come on. Get in there, lad. Such an important victory. Absolutely mental. Hello there guys and welcome back to 100% Chelsea for my review of the Chelsea versus Manchester United game. And we won the game 1-0. We won the game 1-0 and I could not be any happier right now. And what happened? Basically N'Golo Kante played, that's what happened. N'Golo Kante played, that's what happened. Like I said in my preview, without Kante, it'd be a miracle if we win. With Kante, we stand a chance. And boy did we stand a chance. But getting into the review, starting off with the lineup, and there was a major surprise in there, and it was kind of showing throughout the day. There were some minor reports coming out that David Luiz would be dropped for various reasons, and he was dropped. Because we started off with a 3-5-2 formation, Thibaut Courtois in goals, Cesar Azpilicueta, Andreas Christensen and Gary Cahill as the three centre-backs, David Zappacosta and Marcos Alonso as two wing-backs, N'Golo Kante thankfully was back for the game and started, Timur Bakayoko and Cesc Fabregas the three central midfielders, and then Eden Hazard in behind or next to Alvaro Morata up front. Like I said, Luiz dropped completely, he didn't even make the bench. According to rumours, they had a falling out, Luiz and Conte, but I don't want to comment on that too much as I don't know enough about it. And I don't want to play into the whole media stories basically because we don't know for now. And basically the game starting off with both teams trying to attack. And United were way more attacking than I expected, especially at the beginning. Then we had basically a very early own goal disallowed by, Phil Jones, as Morata gave Jones a push. First I thought it was the correct decision when I saw it for the first few times, but when I saw it again at half time, Morata barely touched him, and Jones threw himself around like an Olympic diver. Let me know down in the comments. I mean, I'm annoyed we didn't get it. Obviously, we won at the end, so it doesn't matter. But at the same time, I get that that is a very difficult decision for the ref. But, probably should have stood that goal. Then Rashford had another early chance, but he thankfully put his header over from fairly close range. I think it was just outside the 6-yard box. Then in the 11th minute, we had our biggest chance of the first half, arguably. Deflected cross, found Bakayoko in the box, but he put his volley wide. It was a very difficult chance to take. As I said, he took it on the volley, but possibly a different player would have done better there. Then in the 16th minute, Romelu Lukaku forced a good save by Thibaut Courtois with a low effort from outside the box. Then in the 18th minute, Eden Hazard showed his skill by cutting in from the right hand side onto his left foot and had a go from outside the box and forced a good save by De Gea. Fabregas then tried to head the rebound on goal from a tight angle but put it into the outside side netting. And Bakayoko played like a real box-to-box midfielder today, always rushing towards the edge of the box or even inside the box when we were on the attack. Fabregas playing in the kind of quarterback role, sometimes drifting out wide, changing it basically to a 3-4-3 formation, and Kante obviously being the proper DM. We were the better team for the rest of the first half, basically after those few chances we had earlier on in the game. We tried to go forward, we were fairly solid at the back, but we didn't manage to create any major chances, and that was then half time at 0-0. Decent first half, one real chance for United, one real chance for us, but more sort of half chances and decent shots on our side, but obviously had that very debatable goal disallowed. Then coming into the second half, in the 54th minute, a massive chance for Eden Hazard as Fabregas' cross finds a little Belgian. Hazard completely on his own, poor defending to have that much space. Took it on the volley on his weaker left foot, but didn't connect with the ball properly and hit it straight into the arms of De Gea. But just a minute later, Alvaro Morata made it 1-0. He clearly listened to all my criticism after the Roma game, and I really wasn't happy with him then. But he must have listened to it. Azpilicueta and Morata turned the time back for about 6 or 7 weeks, as Azpilicueta, as he has done so many times already this season, crossed the ball to Morata about 15 yards away from the sideline, 40 yards away from the opposition's goal, crossed it in perfectly into Morata, who was just like Hazard a minute before, completely on his own, again, poor defending, but perfectly steered his header, and it wasn't an easy header because it was just behind him, he had to lean backwards a little bit. He perfectly steered it into the far top corner, nothing, absolutely no chance of saving that for David De Gea. Incredible header, absolutely unbelievable. And then on TV there was a stat shown in the first 15 minutes of the second half we actually had 75% of the possession. We had a very good start to the second half. Then in the 64th minute Antonio Rudiger came on for Zappacosta, moving Azpilicueta to the right wing-back spot and Rudiger obviously going into Azpilicueta's right centre-back position. United started to attack more after they brought on Martial and Fellaini, but we were defensively very solid. We didn't give them any space. We were on their players as soon as they got the ball basically everywhere on the pitch, no matter whether that was Morata or Hazard up front or the defenders or the midfielders. We obviously had the odd decent attack ourselves, but nothing majorly dangerous during that period of time. But then in the 76th minute, we actually had a good chance falling to Eden Hazard after again poor defending. They didn't close him down after he got the ball about 30 yards from goal, ran towards the box, and just outside the box or at the edge of the box he had a shot, but he didn't place it all too well and made it a fairly easy save for the keeper. Should have probably done a little bit better there. Shortly after that, then Drinkwater came on for Fabregas in the 78th minute, and then was basically when United had the first half decent chance in the second half was a volley by Rashford from basically the D of the box, but that volley then did go wide. In the 87th minute, Willian came on for Eden Hazard, and don't worry, I will talk about players individually because there's a lot of players to praise today. In the 90th minute then, just before injury time, the first real chance for United in the second half, which forced a very, very good save by Thibaut Courtois after shot from Fellaini from inside the box. Then Morata had a massive, massive chance in the 93rd minute to basically seal the game off. He was one-on-one with De Gea after we hit him on the counter perfectly. Azpilicueta did really well to hold off Matic, played the ball through to Willian, who then played through Alvaro Morata, who was completely, like I said, on his own against De Gea, but he tried some fancy step over, basically stumbled over the ball and proper bottled it. We won it in the end, but, you know, especially because just a minute after that, Christensen gave a free kick away about 25 yards from goal, and Marcus Rashford almost put it over, like he put it just over the bar, and it took a slight deflection from the wall. If it didn't get that deflection, maybe would have been on target, although Courtois looked like he had it covered. My heart was racing. Like when Rashford set up for that free kick, when I was thinking back to Morata missing a chance just a minute before, I almost had a heart attack. I couldn't handle it. It was so tense. But then obviously that was the last bit of the game. Final whistle blew. And so important. Such an important victory. We had to win this. And we did. We did. Every bit of fight that was lacking on Tuesday, every bit of fight that was missing on Tuesday in Rome was on display today. From every single player on that pitch. And it was incredible to see. That's exactly what we want. And that's exactly what we need. And thankfully we got it today. Everyone, and I mean every single player, was absolutely top notch. Defensively, perfect. The midfield, perfect. The only thing that wasn't perfect was the finishing maybe. We could have scored way more goals. United were all over the place during some parts of the second half. Chances fell to Bakayoko, Hazard, Morata. Sometimes they didn't find the right teammate in the right moment and instead had a fairly poor shot instead. And obviously that last chance by Morata I talked about already. And I've tweeted it during the game. With Kante, Chelsea is basically like a new Ferrari. Without him, we're more like a 15-year-old second-hand Fiat. You know, he makes such a big difference. It's absolutely mental. But like I said, every single one was great today. Everyone, from Courtois to Cahill to Christensen, obviously coming in for David Luiz, to Azpilicueta, to Bakayoko, was an absolute machine. Like I said earlier, showed that he's a proper box-to-box midfielder, not a defensive mid, which basically showed over the last few weeks when he had to be a defensive mid, even though that's not really what he is. But his energy, his pace, his strength is absolutely unbelievable. If he improves his finishing, he'll be one hell of a player, because a few chances fell to him and he didn't really manage to put his shots on target dangerously. Usually put them wide, sometimes he got them on goal but didn't connect with the shot properly. If he improves in that, he can be one hell of a player. Kante, like I said, an absolute god, transforming the team completely, intercepting everything. He just brought our team to a new dimension, basically. Fabregas, also very, very good. If Chris, he's in Australia right now. If you're watching this review, you better not have anything to say against Fabregas today. Good tackles, involved in every bit of attack and play that we had to offer. Hazard ran rings around every single Manchester United player, not like when we played them at Old Trafford at the end of last season when Herrera basically man-marked him out of the game. He got hacked down so many times as well by various players, Jones, Herrera, even Matic. You know, he just got on with it and he played very, very well. Again, his finishing could have been better, but, you know, he was just so important to the team, just like drag defenders away, just keep them busy because he's just so good in the ball. Morata with that incredible header, and also Antonio Conte got his spot on today. Perfect lineup and formation and tactics, and also substitutions. Bringing on Antonio Rudiger in the 65th minute because he knew United would come at us during that period of time, because obviously they were trailing by 1-0, and it worked. Now get in there, build up some consistency, and let's not have performances like against Roma and Crystal Palace anymore. Because, you know, if we can build up some consistency, maybe we can go on another run. I'm not saying we can win the league because we're still 9 points adrift of Manchester City. I think United is now 8 points behind Man City, so we're just 1 point behind Man City. I think Spurs must be in second now because Spurs beat Palace 1-0 today. We have to keep going, try to go on a run, just win as many games as we can. Who knows what's going on with David Luiz? Let's see if he'll be back after the international break, because obviously I assume not part of the Brazil squad because he hasn't been in the last 2 international breaks. Maybe they can sort out the issues. I hope they can, because, you know, I like him a lot as a player. I think he's a very, very good player, although maybe he hasn't been perfect so far this season, but still don't think he was the worst player at the back. But yeah, you know, that's really it from me. Leave me all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. Who was your man of the match? I think, well, it just has to be N'Golo Kante, just because he made that difference. You could give it to Bakayoko as well because his energy was just immense today. Obviously, Morata scored the vital goal, so you could give it to him as well. Leave me any other thoughts you have down in the comment section below as well. Leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Don't forget to follow me on social media, Last1507 on Instagram and Twitter, you know, especially during games and stuff. I tweet out a lot of funny stuff, so follow me there if you don't want to miss that. I massively appreciate that. Also, don't forget to subscribe to 100% Chelsea if you haven't already. Just click that button over there, and you basically can subscribe. We also do appreciate that a lot. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea. Now, obviously, the international break, but I'll see you next time.